just lost again. Okay, sort of. Most people didn't see this, but he sort of lost. It is April 10th, 2025, and here's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about his kind of sort of loss. Let me explain. Well, let's talk about his real loss. His real loss that he did have was with the Associated Press that said, the Associated Press sued him because they kicked him out of the White House and out of the Air Force One because they wouldn't say Gulf of America versus Gulf of Mexico. All right. And the courts ruled in the favor of the Associated Press, said First Amendment. But here's what made that interesting. The judge that ruled against him is a Trump-appointed judge. He's breaking laws. It ain't just liberal judges. It's Trump-appointed, both Bush-appointed, and Reagan-appointed judges, y'all. He's losing. But here's the real big loss he got, and it's not wrapped in the form of a loss. It's wrapped in the form of a win. Everybody's mad at Justice Roberts because Supreme Court just ruled for his first Supreme Court win, saying he can do the Alien Enemies Act. But nobody's paying attention to the conditions they're letting them do that under. That's why I'm pointing it out. You definitely want to subscribe here. You want to subscribe to my channel. Here's the thing. This is the important part to remember. While I'm so excited, I'm giddy over it. Black man giddiness. They said as long as you do habeas corpus, that means as long as you put these people through due process before you ship them out. First of all, Donald Trump will screw that up and be in contempt of court and be a lot of trouble and get shut down. That's been his biggest fear with Boasberg with the Alien Enemies Act. Because if Supreme Court had not ruled in his favor, he could have been in contempt of court. And that state secrets crap doesn't work when you got somebody like Boasberg who has high classified access and clearance, because he's not just any judge. He's a judge appointed by Justice Roberts, who rebuked Trump when he said he wanted to impeach him. And he's a judge that has clearance because what he does in general is over foreign enemy terrorism. This guy is a badass. This is not a punk. And I want you to understand the power behind what is happening. The Supreme Court's given him enough rope to hang himself because they say, yeah, we got alien enemies. We got the right to ship them out unless you put them through court. The Trump administration is not prepared to put thousands of people through court. And oh, by the way, have you checked out their recent court records? Have you checked it out? Their court records, that's why they don't want to put people through court. Their court records are 2 and 46 out of 48 judgments in the last 12 weeks. They've only won 2. The one of which is the one I'm talking about, Alien Enemies Act. They're in trouble. They're in trouble because they're going to bog up the courts and they're not going to get these people out the country because they're picking any damn body like we knew they would. Black folks knew they would. They're just going to pick whoever. So right now, they got to get real choicey on how they pick, because they take that to the courts, they're going to lose. And if they try to take it to appeals court and Supreme Court and blah, 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 that shit's going to get shot down. The Supreme Court already said, you got to give them due process. You can't get nobody out the country when they haven't done anything wrong. You can't give them when they're already citizens here. And if the courts rule against you, you're going to lose. And looking at your recent record, 2 and 46, you're going to lose a lot of court records. Well, what if you say, just forget the courts and I'll ship them out? Then you're in contempt with the Supreme Court. That's why I said he lost again. Even though it looks like he won, they're setting him up for a takedown. This is the first time you probably heard this. Leave me a comment, but understand, subscribe to me. I'm the only one talking about this stuff. They're too busy giving you all the bad stuff. Donald Trump does this. Ah! And I'm like, no, stop. Look at the playbook, look at the score, and look at the context and who's fighting back. By the way, who's going to fight back for those people who get caught by ICE and they got to go through the courts? The ACLU, the 22 Democratic AGs who've been fighting right along with their governors, and the Fed judges themselves. They know when they see some illegal bull crap, it is on. It is on. It is on. They're getting set up for a takedown, and it's going to happen.